Hi everyone, welcome back to my video on my channel. My name is Gia. Today I want to talk a little bit about the process of spiritual awakening. I guess I'll title this video as some of the traps that we fall into as we go through the spiritual awakening process. There's my title. It's some of the patterns that I've noticed within myself and also from the questions that I've been getting from other people. Thank you so much for your questions because they really help better understand what message might be helpful and what kind of things that we can work through together. So I really appreciate your questions. They are so wonderful and it helps me a lot as well. So I'm going to talk about some of the traps that we can fall into as we're going through a spiritual awakening. The first thing that I want to talk about is to seek for answers outside of us. Seeking answers through research, through other people, through other spiritual awakening individuals' souls can be really helpful. It gives us a sense of oneness. It can provide us with a more certainty, perhaps a little bit more groundedness. But it really needs to balance with our willingness to also search within for answers. All the answers or guidance that you receive from the outside world will be a perspective of their own personal experience and inner world connection. So one way to say it is if you are looking at a crystal ball, right? And you are seeking for an answer or guidance on something that you are having a challenge with or something that you have questions about your being, perhaps, right? Then whoever you ask this question to, or whatever you search from maybe on the internet or whatnot to for this question, will be literally from one view, one perspective of looking at this crystal ball. So each of us have our own perspective from which we view this crystal ball, and as a collective we are able to create this whole picture. So it's helpful to ask for guidance and to ask for answers sometimes per se, and I think it should always come with the second step, the next part of asking for alignment and validation from within us, if this is something that makes sense to us, right? If not, then maybe it will later on, maybe it won't. But it's really about asking in the moment, in place, right now in this moment, if this is something that I resonate with. When our spiritual awareness opens up and we kind of tap into higher realms per se, it's very easy to have a lot of questions. And when we have all these questions, we want these answers to these questions. And from this desire for answers and clarity, you can also fall into this trap of losing touch with the present moment. Again, I'm not really talking about, oh, we shouldn't ask questions, we should never have the desire to get to know ourselves. No, not at all. It's really about balancing our desire and the present moment, right? What I'm seeking outward with inward. It's about that balance or harmony within us. So, I've gone through phases where I receive a lot of information and I don't really know what this is about. So I start doing a lot of research and trying to figure things out, but I can't find the answers to it. So I get frustrated and I could get confused and I try to find more, but it's not working. And then I kind of come back to myself and I'm like, oh, I kind of lost touch with my inner being during this process. So, it's really important to kind of check in with ourselves to see, okay, this is a really helpful information. If I don't fully grasp the idea or the meaning of this event or situation that I'm in, maybe I will eventually understand it, but it's important to kind of let it go and to come back to the now moment, to be able to, and sometimes from this place, we can receive answers, we can gain clarity, because from this now moment, it's open for potentiality, right? Now moment is everything that has potential for something. I'm using the word trap, but I just don't know if it's the best word for it. It's just what's coming to me right now. what I'm trying to communicate is that ongoing pattern that we might fall into that creates a stagnation in our consciousness per se. Second trap that we can easily fall into during our spiritual process is that trap of our ego. So it's very easy for individuals for going through a spiritual awakening to have a lot of spiritual experiences. You can experience just a vibration just surging through your body, kundalini experiences, having visions literally come in front of you, communications, telepathic communications. A lot of things can open up within our DNA that allows these kind of abilities to be unveiled. And I say unveiled because I highly believe that these were things that are authentic to us, yet it has been kind of covered up and trapped over the series of our evolution. So it's very easy to fall into that ego state when our heart isn't fully opened as well, because it creates this sense of, oh, I have these abilities. Yes, these are very helpful tools to use in our spiritual sharing, in our spiritual mission, but it's really important to also tune into ourselves and to ask how we are using these abilities to serve others, to serve ourselves from a place of love, thinking about how this can benefit me, how this can benefit those around me who are open to receiving it. It is something that is embedded within collective, and we all have the potential to tap into these energies. All the gifts that we have, all the potentials that we are anchoring are simply tools that we have. It is something that we have been gifted to us during our lifetime for us to use as a tool to serve our mission. So it's really important to always tune back within the hearts to check in with ourselves, where and how we are using some of these spiritual tools. I think overall, through the 3-4 tips that I just shared, it's really the common theme is tuning back within for guidance, for just do meditation to ask yourself, right? Ask your higher self. When you can tune into your higher self, that's okay. Just ask again, maybe tomorrow. So just practice looking inwards for guidance, balance out with your kind of search and quest from the outer world. I hope this message was helpful for you in your own journey. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I really appreciate your questions and your engagement. It's something that really I either resonate with, or it really inspires me to kind of dig deep into some of these topics as well. So I really appreciate you do that. And thank you for subscribing for my channel as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and I will see you next time.